Hello students, welcome to Edubbey Global Solution. Today we'll be looking at aerobic respiration. In chapter 1.1 of our IGCSE Biology, we learned that respiration is the characteristics of living organisms. Respiration is the release of energy from food substances in all living cells, and these food substances is normally broken down to glucose. There are two forms of respiration. Namely, we have the aerobic respiration and the anaerobic respiration. The question here is trying to test if we have any knowledge about aerobic and anaerobic respiration, and it says the form of respiration that uses oxygen and releases the most energy is aerobic respiration. Correct. So, diving deeper into aerobic respiration is defined as the release of relatively large amounts of energy by the breakdown of food substances in the presence of oxygen. Aerobic respiration usually takes the form of the oxidation of glucose in the cytoplasm of living cells controlled by enzymes. It unlocks the chemical energy in the glucose molecule, releasing it for the metabolic activities and also releasing the waste products of carbon dioxide and water. Drag the words into the correct boxes. Aerobic respiration in the cytoplasm of living cells involves the breakdown of glucose in the presence of oxygen to release carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Now, moving on, the balanced chemical equation for aerobic respiration is what we have stated here. We have glucose reacting with oxygen to give out carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Energy released during respiration is used to carry out other life processes within the body. True or false? True. Yes. The energy released during respiration is used to carry out other metabolic activities of the body. So that takes us to the uses of energy released during respiration. The energy released during respiration is used for muscle contraction, and this is used for movement. It's also used to manufacture protein, and that is by linking amino acids together in order to manufacture proteins such as enzymes and those used for growth and repair. The energy released during respiration is used to in the process of cell division too. So we have a quick question here. It says amino acids are linked together to form protein in which part of the body? This takes place in the liver. We'll be learning more about that in the next chapter. Uses of energy released during respiration continued. Yes, energy released during respiration is also used for active transport of chemicals through the cell membrane of the cell. And an example of this is the uptake of glucose through the villous walls. We also have conversion of electrical energy in the form of impulses along nerve cells. Energy released during respiration is useful for this. The energy released during respiration is also used for the conversion of heat energy to maintain a constant body temperature. Now, we mentioned active transport. For active transport to take place, energy is required from the cell. True or false? True. So I have a short video here that is explaining more on aerobic respiration. So we're going to watch and answer some of the interactive questions displayed.
Respiration is just breathing, right? Wrong. Respiration is the chemical process that supplies the body with energy for all other life processes. growth and repair of cells, muscle contraction, protein synthesis, sending nerve impulses, absorbing molecules in active transport, to name just a few. It happens in all living cells, not just animal cells, but also plant cells. There are two types of respiration: aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic means with air, and so needs oxygen, whereas anaerobic respiration doesn't need oxygen. Let's start by looking at aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration releases energy in cells by breaking down food substances whilst in the presence of oxygen. It is represented by this simplified equation. But don't forget the energy which is released. Glucose is broken down by oxygen to release the byproducts of carbon dioxide and water. Energy is released, which is then used to make a special energy molecule called ATP. ATP is how energy is stored for later use by the body.
Okay, we have a question now. It says, fill in the missing words. Dash is the form in which energy is stored for later use by the body. That'll be ATP.
Aerobic respiration happens all the time in all cells, usually in the mitochondria. Animals get the oxygen needed from the air through their ventilation systems.
Okay, we have another question. It says aerobic respiration takes place all the time in what part of the cell? I'll be the mitochondria.
Plants get their oxygen from the air through the stomata. Do you remember how photosynthesis works? Compare these two equations. You can hopefully see that aerobic respiration works in the opposite way to photosynthesis. Plants produce their food by photosynthesis and then through respiration release energy from it. But
Okay. In plants, glucose needed for the release of energy during respiration is produced by photosynthesis. True or false? True.
don't be confused. Whilst plants do release oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis, they don't necessarily take in this oxygen for respiration. They just take in any oxygen from the air. Plants respire throughout the day and night, as do animals, but they only photosynthesize during the day, when there is light available. So this is how aerobic, or with air, respiration works. You just need to remember that glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen to release carbon dioxide, water, and energy. In the next
So
video,
we have a
we will
summary
have a
of
look at
that summary
ana-
dialogue of what we have learned. And it says the first we have two sets of statements, one correct statement and one incorrect statement. In first one says in aerobic respiration, carbon dioxide is broken down by oxygen to release the byproducts of glucose and water. The second statement says in aerobic respiration, glucose is broken down by oxygen to release the byproducts of carbon dioxide and water. The second statement will be the correct statement. We have another set of statements. The first one says ATP is the form in which energy is stored in the body. The second one says energy is not stored in the body. The first statement will be the correct answer. And with these, we can move on to the next slide. Or slides, we have experiments to show that animals use up oxygen during respiration. So there is this setup showing us an invertebrate animal in a test tube, and then sodium hydroxide at the bottom of the test tube, and a colored ink indicator in two different setups. So it says for each molecule of oxygen taken in by the animal, a molecule of carbon dioxide is given out. The molecule of carbon dioxide dissolves in the sodium hydroxide, decreasing the volume within the apparatus. The indicator thus moves from A to B. So the colored indicator will move forward as the volume decreases. So it says there's a question here that says sodium hydroxide is colorless but turns pink on the addition of what? On the addition of carbon dioxide. the addition of carbon dioxide solution. But since the sodium hydroxide is already in solution, so the addition of carbon dioxide automatically turn it to pink. So we have another activity here that says, is a Cambridge question. It says, what substances are used in aerobic respiration? That will be the combination of glucose and oxygen. That's B. These are the reactants. Let's check. Yeah, we're correct. Another activity here shows us a test tube with a wood lice and then a colored liquid. And then the question says, which statement describes and explains the movement of the colored liquid when the wood lice are respiring? So the correct statement will be colored liquid moves towards the test tube because the wood lice are using oxygen. Let's check. Yes. One last question. It says the balanced equation for aerobic respiration in seeds can be represented as shown in QRST on the table. Which row gives the balanced equation for aerobic respiration in seeds? That'll be glucose plus oxygen flow to give away carbon dioxide, and so that'll be B. Let's check. Yes, we are correct. So with this, we come to the end of our lesson on aerobic respiration. Remember to join us for the next series. Check us out on www.edubbey.com. Thank you.